Hello, this is Ibrahim Aljada again. Please follow the exact order of lessons in this course for ultimate benefit. Lesson 1. The ba letter should not be skipped as it is the main building block in this course. Thank you. In this lesson, we are going to be covering the letter ba. The way this is written in English here is one format to help you memorize and remember the name of this letter, but you could try it some other formats. The full name of the letter is ba, and I strongly recommend that you remember the full name of the letter. For simplicity, you could call it ba, you could call it b, you could call it boo, whatever is convenient for you. The more common, simpler way of memorizing this is just saying ba and applying the same note for all the letters of the alphabet. So you can say a, ba, ta, tha. You could similarly call it u, bu, tu, thu if you wish, and you want to go fancy. Please be inventive and creative. This will help you have fun with the course and enjoy it. Or you could call the letters E, B, T, Th. But the actual official name of this gentleman or lady is Ba, and I highly recommend remembering the full name of each letter as an expression of your seriousness to learn the Arabic alphabet and as an expression of respect for this wonderful language. Luckily, the letter is shared by Arabic and English languages, so it should be easy for you to emit, articulate, or pronounce the letter. This diagram may help you figure out how this letter is produced, and it will be more helpful for you to use this diagram when it comes to producing letters that do not exist in English, which we'll go over in future lessons. So the letter ba here is a letter produced by the lips. And when you try to produce the letter, you feel like there is some kind of vibration that fills your whole throat, your whole mouth cavity, with some blow of air towards your lips, and you end up producing the letter through your lips. Ba or ba. So how is the letter ba? Again, ba, it's the full name. Try to remember that. For simplicity, you could call it ba. So ba. How would you draw or write this letter? Let me activate the drawing guide here so that we have horizontal lines. For this to work properly, and if you are using the Procreate app, make sure you choose the color of your preference. If you go to palettes, you can pick any of these colors to activate, or choose from the previously made palette that we have called in the introduction lesson Arabic. I'll choose the dark blue. Make sure, if you are using Procreate 5 app, that you are on the right active layer, and make sure you choose the right brush. We made this brush in the previous lesson, the introduction lesson. Under the calligraphy category, we made the Arabic brush. And make sure you have the right brush size. I'll choose 15%. And for the opacity, I'll keep the opacity at a max. So make sure you have these parameters checked every time you try and practice on the Procreate app. Again, as I said before, you don't need the Procreate app. Any touch screen would do. A stylus pen is definitely helpful, or even a regular piece of paper and pen of your preference and choice. So let's draw and write the letter ba here. Most of the letter is written or drawn on the line, horizontal line. I will start with the right arm and then go through the body of the letter and end with the left arm. So most of the letter is on the horizontal line. The right and left arms are above the line but are attached to the body of the letter. And then you add a dot underneath the letter or below the horizontal line. Undo. Let's try this again. Right arm, body, left arm, dot underneath. This is the ba letter. This format is drawn or written when the ba letter is on its own, not attached to any other letter. If this letter is at the beginning of the word, this is how you write it. Right arm, straight body, then dot underneath. Again, right arm, straight body, dot underneath. How will it look like if it is written in the middle of the word? You have an extension from the previous letter, and then you draw the right arm of the ba letter, and then you go for the body of the ba letter with a dot underneath. Let's repeat that. The body extension from the previous letter in the middle of the word, right arm of the ba letter, and then the body of the ba letter followed by the dot underneath. This is how the ba letter or ba letter would look like in the middle of the word. How would it look like at the end of the word? If the letter is on its own, I've shown you initially how it is written. We have the right arm, body, left arm, then dot underneath. If the ba letter is at the end of the word, connected to the letter before that, this is how it is written. You start with the extension from the previous letter. You draw the right arm of the ba letter, then the body of the ba letter, then the left arm of the ba letter. So again, if you are writing the ba letter and it is at the end of the word connected to the letter before that, you start with the extension of the previous letter, draw the right arm of the ba letter, followed by the body of the ba letter, and then the left arm of the ba letter. Excellent job. Please feel free to pause the video at any moment and practice. Practice is a critical element to succeed in this course. Again, practice and repetition are crucial for the process of learning in this course. Now, let's test you. I want you to write the ba letter as it should appear if it was at the beginning of the word. Pause the video and try that. Well, this is how it should be written again if it is at the beginning of the word. How should it look like if it is on its own? No connection, no attachment to a letter before or a letter after in the word. This is how it may look like. What if it was at the end of the word? Pause the video, test yourself. How should it look like if it was at the end of the word connected to the letter before in the word. This is how it should look like. Let's try that again. Now please, don't overwhelm yourself. You can simplify the way you draw or write the letters. You can think of the letters as geometric figures with acute and right angle edges. The main thing is for the reader to realize the letter you are writing. It may sound funny, especially if you are a beginner, but as long as the reader knows which letter you meant or intended to write, that's the main thing. So for simplicity, you could write the ba letter as if you have right angles at the right and left corners, like this. This is a ba letter, which looks reasonable. What if it is in the middle of the word? You could write it like this. What if it is at the end of the word connected to the letter before that? Sounds acceptable. Be inventive, be creative, and enjoy the course. Another way you may wish to try is to have acute angles at the right and left corners of the letter, like this. This is ba letter. It should be fine. I don't mind it. So please pause the video at any moment and test yourself, try things out, be creative, and remember there are different styles of calligraphy in every language. So you can create your own fancy calligraphy style that will help you enjoy what you're doing. What we are going to talk about is a major concept that will be repeated in every lesson, basically. So if you master it in the beginning, don't worry, you may be able to master it in the next lesson. But the sooner you master the following concept or concepts, it gets easier with the repetition in the following lessons. What I'm going to cover now in the next few minutes is called short vowels in Arabic. The first short vowel is called fatha, which could be pronounced for simplicity in English as ah, as if you are adding the a or ah letter at the end of the Arabic letter. Here we have the ba letter when it's on its own. Pay attention to the red dash or line on top of the letter. This is called fatha. This is a short vowel in Arabic. In English, you have all the vowels written in the word. In Arabic, the short vowels in the regular texts in modern books are eliminated. So you have to figure out what the short vowel might be. Except in the Quran. In the Quran, you have all the vowels written attached to the letters. That makes it easier. But in regular texts, short vowels are not mentioned like you would expect in English. In English, you have the A, the E, the I, the U. These are vowels that are written in the word. In Arabic, they are extra drawings above or below the letter. So don't worry too much about that. Focus on how a fatha or short vowel looks like when it is on top of the letter and how the letter might be pronounced. So the ba letter here becomes ba, as if you added a short a letter to the ba letter in Arabic. So when you have the dash or straight line above the letter, you pronounce the letter as ba. The next short vowel is called dhamma. For simplicity, it could be looked as a short U letter attached to the Arabic letter. So here the ba letter or the ba letter has this shape which is called dhamma. It is on top of the letter, and the pronunciation of the letter would be bu. So the first line with the fatha, you pronounce the letter as ba. The second line with the dhamma, you pronounce the letter as bu. The third short vowel is called kasra, which is, for simplicity, an I letter in English attached to the Arabic alphabet letter. In this case, you pronounce, try to guess, how would you pronounce this letter with this dash or line underneath? It's called kasra in Arabic, and the pronunciation of the ba letter here, or the ba letter, would be B. So when you add the kasra, it will sound like B. If we put all these together on the first line, the short vowel fatha, which is a dash or a straight line on top of the letter, will make the pronunciation ba. The dhamma, which is the other short vowel on the second line, the ba letter would be pronounced as bu. And then on the third line at the bottom, the kasra, the third short vowel, and the pronunciation of the letter would be B. So if we accumulate them together, you could pronounce them as ba, bu, B. Remember these short vowels because we are going to repeat them for almost every letter in future lessons. So let's try now and write the letter ba connected to the short vowels. Please feel free to pause the video whenever you like to test and try things on your own. How would the ba look like if we have a fatha on top of it? It will look like this. How would it look like if we add a dhamma? And this is how you draw or write the dhamma. It's like a circle and then has an extended left arm. This is a dhamma short vowel, and the letter is pronounced as bu. If we add the kasra, which is a dash or a line underneath the letter, the pronunciation will be B. So we have the three short vowels now, ba, bu, and B. Please remember that. The next concept or concepts are called the long vowels. These are written in Arabic, so you don't have to worry about having to figure out how the word is pronounced. These are literally written in Arabic. That makes your life easier. The first long vowel is the alif or the a. So it's like the short vowel fatha with an extension. So instead of saying ba, you would say ba. What you add to the letter is the a or alif letter, which will take some time in the future, but we need to figure out what this actually means and the value of it as a long vowel. It should be easy for you to master. So this is the alif, which could be written in English for simplicity as a, which looks like an extension of the a that we used for the short vowel fatha. So this is the first long vowel. And if we pay attention to the ba and add to it the long vowel alif, it becomes ba. And this is how you write it, ba. and this is how you pronounce it, ba, and this is how you write it. So you have the alif letter or a letter attached to the ba, it becomes a ba, and you can add a fatha for simplicity, to make it easier for you to figure out that this is a ba, and you don't have to add the fatha if you wish. This configuration or this shape of the ba letter attached to the long vowel a makes it look like this, and this is how you pronounce it, ba. Our next long vowel is the waw letter, which is the full name of this long vowel, and we are going to deal with the waw letter on its own in the future. But please remember how it looks like now for simplicity, because we are going to use it as a long vowel. It will affect the pronunciation of the letter when it is attached to it. So we have the ba letter here attached to the waw letter, and this long vowel could be written in English like a U with a dash on top, to think of it as oo. So this is a waw letter or a long vowel, oo. So this becomes a boo. When you attach the ba letter to this oo or the waw letter, you pronounce this combination as boo. Let's try and write this. If you wish, you can add the short vowel dhamma. So actually this long vowel oo sounds like an extension of the dhamma short vowel. You can think of it this way. You can add the dhamma on top if you wish for simplicity. You don't have to, but you could do that. So the right way to pronounce this combination of the ba letter and the oo letter or the waw letter is boo. Our next long vowel is the ya, which is a letter on its own. It will have its own lesson sometime in the future. But for now, I need you to remember this ya letter. And this is one way of writing it in English. Ya letter. This is the full name of it. And you can think of it as an I with a dash on top of it. So it becomes like an E. This is the third long vowel that you have to remember, E. And it sounds like an extension of which of the short vowels? Try to think, test yourself. What was the short vowel that we had before that sounds like a simplistic, shorter version of the E? It's the kasra. So this E or the ya letter sounds like an extension of the E or the kasra, short vowel. So this is a long vowel, pronounce it as E. And the way to write it is like this. And you attach it to the letter. This is the ya letter or the long vowel. You just attach it to the letter. So what do we have here on the right side? B. You attach the ba letter to the E letter or the ya letter. It becomes a B. Let's try and write this. It has, the ya letter has 2 dots underneath, and the ba letter has 1 dot. And to make it easier for you, you can add the kasra underneath the ba, but you don't have to. The fact that you have the ya letter attached to the ba means it's a B. So it's the long vowel E. Let's try and write the ya letter or the E letter on its own. Try and copy and follow my way. Let's try that again. You have a curved line going left down, and then you have a short arm going right, and then you have half a circle going around, and then you have 2 dots underneath. So part of the letter is above the line, part of it is underneath the line. For simplicity, you could draw or write this letter like this. Think of it as a rectangle missing its right arm, and then you add another rectangle missing its upper arm, and then you have the two dots. Let's try that again. This is the ya letter, and if you add the ba letter to it, it will look like this. Okay, let's redo that again. Or you can write the ba with the ya letter or the e letter like this, ba, and then do the ya letter like this, and you can add the kasra underneath. So this is a B. Sometimes you have this E in the middle of the word. The previous format I showed you is when you have the B towards the end of the word. So now what happens if the B is in the beginning of the word like this? Ba, the ya is like this, and let's say you have another ba at the end. So this becomes what? You add the kasra here, becomes beeb. Let's try that again. It should make some sense for you by now. This is ba with the kasra. It's a B. If you add the E or the ya long vowel to it, it becomes a B. You write it like this. And we can add a third letter, which is a ba letter towards the end. It becomes beeb. All right? With practice and repetition throughout the lessons and future lessons, things become easier. So these are the three major long vowels that I need you to remember for future lessons, because we are going to repeat them basically every lesson. The first line, you have the alif or the extended a, which is the a. So the letter becomes ba, becomes ta, becomes ja, becomes ha. And you add the alif letter to the ba letter here, becomes ba. The second line here, you have the waw letter or the oo. And if you add it to the ba letter, becomes boo. The third vowel is the ya long vowel or the e long vowel. So if you have it attached to the ba letter, what does it become? B. All right? So let's try and test ourselves. You can pause the video anytime you wish to practice and repeat, because this is critical for the process of learning. I will try and write the letter ba attached with a vowel, and I want you to figure it out. How would you pronounce this combination? The ba letter attached to the waw letter or the wa letter or the oo. So it becomes boo. And you don't have to put the dhamma short vowel here. Let's try something else. You have the ba letter with the kasra short vowel, meaning it's a B. And if you extend the E here by attaching the ya letter or the E letter, what does it become? How do you pronounce this combination? It becomes a B. And you don't have to put the kasra here because the E letter forces you to pronounce the combination as B. Let's try now another combination. You have the ba with the fatha short vowel. So what do you expect? The pronunciation will be here. It will be ba because you are attaching the alif or the a extension to the ba letter. And you don't have to put the fatha here. So the way to pronounce this combination is ba. I hope you mastered this. We'll repeat this combination or something similar in the future. So don't be overwhelmed. Repetition will help us. You can always go back to any segment of this video. You can always pause and practice. And repetition, and practice are critical for the process. In this session, we'll cover 3 patterns of what is called tanween, which is duplication of any of the short vowels we covered before. So the previously covered short vowels are the fatha, ba, or dhamma, bu, or kasra, as in b. If you duplicate any of these vowels, you end up with what is called tanween accordingly. So if you have 2 fathas, meaning you add 2 dashes on top of the letter that are parallel to each other, that is tanween fatha or 2 fathas. If you add 2 dhammas nearby each other on top of the letter, that's called tanween dhamma. And if you add 2 kasras, which are 2 dashes parallel to each other, that's called tanween kasra, or for simplicity 2 kasras. So I will start with the tanween fatha or the 2 fathas, show you how this is written and how to pronounce it. If we are using the letter ba here, this is a unique situation. If you add 2 fathas, which are 2 parallel lines on top of the ba letter, and that's a tanween fatha, you pronounce it as ban, and you have to add the long vowel alif. This is unique to this kind of tanween. So the ba here with a fatha, a single fatha, is pronounced as ba. If you add 2 fathas parallel to each other on top of the letter, it becomes ban. And for this to be completed, you have to add the long vowel alif at the end. The tanweens are unique in that they could only take place at the end of a word. This is important to remember. The tanween can only take place at the end of the word. And the reason why it is called tanween, because the 2 short vowels are nearby each other. One of them functions as a short vowel. The second one is converted to the N letter. So the ba becomes ban. The first short vowel fatha stays as is. The second one is converted to N letter. So the ba becomes ban. Again, ba with 2 fathas becomes ban, and this can only happen and take place at the end of a word. Now, what about the situation of two dhammas or tanween dhamma? Again, the first short vowel, the dhamma, stays as is with its effect on the pronunciation of the letter. The second dhamma is converted to an letter. This is why it's called tanween. So the ba becomes, can you guess that? Bun, bun. And this can only happen at the end of a word. Let's write that. And you can pause the video and practice. So if the letter ba is on its own, and you add the two dhammas on top, it becomes, remember, the first dhamma stays as is, the second dhamma is converted to an letter, so it becomes bun. The ba could be at the end of the word with an attached letter before. It could be written like this, and if we add the two dhammas on top, it becomes bun again. Again, the tanween happens only at the end of a word. Regarding the two dhammas or the tanween dhamma, this could be written in three different styles. It could be written like this, two dhammas. You may see it in this format, and you could see it in this format. Again, the two dhammas or tanween dhamma could be written like this, or like this on top of the letter, or like this. You can pause the video and try these on your own. So let's try again. When the ba letter is on its own and we have the two dhammas, it's pronounced as bun. This is another way of writing the two dhammas, bun. And this is a third way of writing the two dhammas or tanween dhamma, bun. The third kind of tanween is the remaining short vowel related to kasra. It's called tanween kasra or two kasras. And how would you think that should like? For example, here you have the ba letter and you have two dashes, two lines parallel to each other at the bottom of the letter. And how should it be pronounced? Try to figure that on your own. The first short vowel kasra stays as is. The second one is converted to an. This is why it's called tanween. So the pronunciation for this ba letter now with the tanween kasra or two kasras is bin, bin. Let's practice this. Remember, the tanween could only happen at the end of a word, so we need to show the ba at the end of the word, and it could appear in two patterns, two formats. This is how it looks like at the end of a word on its own, like in the word bab, meaning door. So this is the ba letter. If we add the two kasras or tanween kasra at the end, this is how it looks like. Bin, bin. And this is how it may look like when the ba letter is at the end of a word attached to a letter and connected to a letter before it. If we add the two kasras now, it becomes bin, bin. So now we've covered the three tanweens, the tanween fatha or two fathas, the tanween dhamma or two dhammas, and tanween kasra and two kasras. These are the three formats for the tanweens: tanween fatha or two fathas, tanween dhamma or two dhammas, and tanween kasra, two kasras. Let's practice again. And I want you now to try and figure out what I'm going to write. How do you pronounce this? Bun, bun. How about this one? Bin, bin. This session will deal with what is called sukoon, or for simplicity termed as a stop sign. There are two ways this could be written. It could be written like here, which is a tiny or a small circle on top of the letter. You have the ba letter here with a sukoon on top. And the way to pronounce this is basically saying ib, without any short vowel. Instead of saying ba or bu or b, you say ib, it, ij. Okay? The other way the sukoon could be written in Arabic written texts is like this. Again, this is another way of writing the sukoon instead of the small circle. It could be written like this. All right? So this is ib, ib. This is called sukoon or a stop sign. I know this lesson could be appearing overwhelming, but believe me, it's going to get easier as we are going to repeat the same sessions over and over again for the remaining Arabic alphabet letters. How may you pronounce this letter, which has a sukoon on top? Ab. Ab. How about when the ba letter is in the middle of the word, attached before and after with other letters? Ab, ab. How about when we use this format for the sukoon or this shape? Ab, ab. The following session is going to deal with what is called shadda. Shadda. Try that. Say shadda, meaning the letter is emphasized or duplicated and combined together to produce this emphasized pronunciation. So instead of saying ib or ba or b, what do you say? Ba, ba, ta, ja, which means the letter is emphasized as if it is duplicated or tripled to bring a compounded voice together, and this is called shadda. When it is with the fatha or the short vowel fatha, it's called shadda with fatha, and it is pronounced as ba, ba, as apparent here with the ba letter, and it has a shadda with fatha on top. And the way to pronounce this is ba, ba. Let's try and write this. Ubba, ubba. Try to say it. Ubba, ubba. This is how it may look like when the ba letter is in the middle of a word. Ubba, ubba. Now, what do you expect the two remaining categories of the regular shadda would be if you add the short vowel dhamma on top of a shadda, or if you add the kasra below the shadda? How do you think the pronunciation will be like? I hope you got it right. Here we have the shadda with dhamma, which is like compounding or duplicating or tripling. So if you add the shadda on top of a letter and you add dhamma to it, how do you think the pronunciation will be like? Ubbu, ubbu, ubbu. Let's practice that. Ubbu, ubbu. What if the ba was in the middle of the word? Ubbu, ubbu. How about if the ba was at the end of a word connected to a letter before it? Ubbu, ubbu. Pause the video and practice. And you can see here repetition and some common sense formats when you add the short vowels to these newly added formulas. So the remaining pattern of regular shadda is shadda with kasra. So how do you think it should look like? Like here, the ba letter has a shadda on top with a kasra underneath. How do you think the pronunciation will be like? Ibbi, ibbi. The letter is emphasized as if it is doubled or tripled with a compounded sound effect. So ibbi, ibbi. So let's practice the writing of ibbi in the middle of the word or at the end of a word. If the ba is on its own and you have the shadda with kasra, we should expect it to look like this. Ibbi, ibbi. Now be inventive and creative. Try to write on your own. What if the ba letter was at the end connected to a letter before that and it has a shadda with kasra? How should it look like and how should it be pronounced? Pause the video and try it on your own. This is how it should look like. Ibbi, ibbi. What if the ba letter was in the middle of a word? One way it may look like would be like this. Ibbi, ibbi. So you can pause the video and practice the different formats of the shadda. Shadda with fatha, shadda with dhamma, and shadda with kasra. Fantastic. Let's go to the next session. The next session deals with combining the tanween or the two fathas, two dhammas, and two kasras and attaching any of these to the regular shadda. So we'll call it shadda with two fathas or shadda with tanween fatha and shadda with two dhammas or shadda with tanween dhamma or shadda with two kasras or shadda with tanween kasra. Remember, the tanween fatha forces you to add an alif long vowel after the letter, like in here. The ba has the long vowel alif or a, with the shadda on top with the addition of the tanween fatha or two fathas on top. How do you think if we compound the effect of a regular shadda and two fathas together, how would you think the pronunciation would be like? Try to figure it out on your own. Use some common sense. Ban. So the tanween keeps the first short vowel, the second is turned to an letter, and you have the emphasis of the shadda. So ban, ban. Is it starting to make some sense now? Let's practice. So we have the ba letter attached with the long vowel, which is a unique situation here when you have the tanween, and we have the shadda, and then we have the single fatha, ba, and if we add another fatha, becomes a tanween attached to a regular shadda, it becomes ban, ban, ban. Pause the video and practice on your own. The shadda with two dhammas, or shadda with tanween dhamma. How do you think it should look like? What do you think the pronunciation will be like? Try to figure it out on your own. Use some common sense. Bun. You have the emphasis by the shadda, and then you have the tanween or two dhammas. You keep the first short vowel dhamma, and the second is turned into an, so it becomes bun, bun, bun. Let's practice. Bun, bun. And remember the different formats for the tanween dhamma or the two dhammas? Do you remember that? How would it look like if we use the other formats for tanween dhamma? Like this, or like this. Ubbun, ubbun. How may it look like when you have a letter connected before the ba letter at the end of a word? Ubbun, ubbun. So what would be the third variety of a regular shadda and attached tanween? What do you think will be the third variety? The shadda with two kasras or tanween kasra. How do you think the pronunciation will be? Try to figure it out on your own. Bin, bin. You have the emphasis by the shadda, and then you have the tanween, where you keep the first kasra, and then the second kasra is converted to the end letter. So bin, bin. Let's practice. You have the shadda with two kasras or tanween kasra. Bin. How may it look like if it is attached to a letter before it? Excellent. I'll cover in this session or in this quiz the shadda with the different kinds of tanween. So the shadda or regular shadda combined with a tanween. How do you pronounce this? Bin, bin. How about this one? Ibun, ibun. And how about this one? Ibban, ibban. And because we have a tanween, this could only take place at the end of a word. All right? So we've covered the different vowels, short vowels, long vowels, the sukoon, the shadda, combined with the short vowels, and the shadda combined with tanween. This is going to repeat itself in every letter of the Arabic alphabet. This looks overwhelming now, requires lots of practice, but it should get easier down the road because it's going to repeat itself over and over again with every future lesson. What are we going to do now? I'm going to make words, imaginary words. I'm stuck now with only a few letters of the Arabic alphabet, which is basically the ba letter. This is our first lesson. And I have letters that form the long vowels. So I have limited options to present to you real Arabic words. I'll be imagining and creating Arabic words that may not exist to make it easy for you to learn and feel comfortable with all the skills you have acquired in this lesson. Let's get started. I want you now to pause the video and try and pronounce these imaginary words on your own. And you can create your own words to strengthen your skill. Try to figure out the pronunciation of these words. What do you think of the first word? It's ba, bu, bi. So ba, bu, bi. The first short vowel is a fatha, ba. The second short vowel is a dhamma, bu. The third short vowel is a kasra, bi. So if we want to pronounce this imaginary or false word, we pronounce it as babubi, babubi. Try that, babubi, babubi. What about the second word here? The first short vowel is a kasra, bi. The second short vowel on the ba letter in the middle of a word is a fatha, ba. And the third short vowel is dhamma. So how would you pronounce this word? Bibabu, bibabu, bibabu. Try that. The third word at the bottom here has a dhamma, then a kasra, then a fatha. How would you pronounce this word? Bubiba, bubiba, bubiba. Great, fantastic. I know it sounds silly, but you'll find it very useful, very fruitful, very meaningful down the road. Try it. So the last word is pronounced as bubiba. Again, bubiba. Fantastic. How about these three words here? Try on your own. Pause the video. Try to figure out how to pronounce them. I hope you got them all right. Let's start with the first word. You have a fatha on the first ba. You have the long vowel afterwards. Then you have the ba letter, the third letter in the word. You have a tanween fatha, two fathas on top of the second ba letter. And then you have another long vowel alif, which is a must here when you have, remember, a tanween fatha at the end of a word, you have to add a long vowel alif. How do you think this may be pronounced? Try to figure it out. Give yourself some time. Ba, ban. Again, ba, ban. Baban, baban. Fantastic. Let's go to the second word. We have a ba letter with a short vowel fatha followed by a long vowel alif. At the end we have a ba letter on its own with tanween. Tanween what? Kasra, or two kasras. If we try to pronounce this, pause the video, try to pronounce this on your own. How do you think it should look like? Ba, bin, ba, bin, babin, babin. Fantastic. Let's try now the third word. We have a ba letter with a short vowel fatha followed by an alif long vowel. So we have a ba, and then at the end we have a ba letter on its own with two dhammas or tanween dhamma. Bun. What do you think the pronunciation of the whole word would be? Try it on your own. I hope you got it right. Fantastic. Babun. 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 Great. Babun. Fantastic. On this page, I want you to try the use of the short vowels, the tanweens, and the long vowels. If you are using Procreate app, the way to fill the whole background with a specific color is by touching, holding, and dragging the color disk in the right upper corner into the center of the canvas. On this page, I want you to try and pronounce these three words. How would you pronounce the first word? You can pause the video and try. We have here a short vowel fatha. We have a long vowel alif. We have a tanween dhamma or two dhammas. Try to figure out the pronunciation. I hope you got it right. It's babun, babun, babun. What about the second word? We have a short vowel dhamma on top of the ba letter. Then we have the waw or oo long vowel. At the end we have the ba letter with tanween kasra or two kasras. What do you think the pronunciation will be like? Boo bin, boobin, boobin. How about the last word here? We have a short vowel kasra followed by a long vowel ya or e, and then we have a ba letter at the end with two kasras or tanween kasra. How do you pronounce this word? Be bin, be bin, be bin. Fantastic. You can pause the video, create your own words, add to them the short vowels, the long vowels, the shadda, shadda on its own, sukoon, shadda with fatha, shadda with dhamma or kasra, and then shadda with tanween of any kind you wish, and try to pronounce these words on your own. Try to figure out the correct pronunciation of these imaginary Arabic words. How about the first word? Babin, babin. What about the second word? Bibu, bibu. And how about the third word? Babba, babba. I hope you got them all right. So how about this word here? It doesn't exist in Arabic. An imaginary word. Create your own. Be inventive. Have fun. Let's try and pronounce this word. Pause the video. Give it a shot. I hope you got it right. Bu, bi, babin. Let's try again. Bu, bi, babin. Bu, bi, babin. Bu, bi, babin. Fantastic. I want you now to determine for me the long vowels in this word. Bu, bi, babin. What are the long vowels? Try to figure it out on your own. This is your first one, your second one, and your third one. I hope you got them right. بو بي باب. Perfect. This is our final quiz word. I hope you get it right. You can pause the video. Try to pronounce it on your own. Try to find the short vowels. Try to find the long vowels. Try to find the different kinds of shadda. A regular shadda with a fatha. A regular shadda with two dhammas or tanween dhamma. And then try to pronounce the whole word. Again, this is an imaginary fake word in Arabic. Let's try. Bu bi ba bu bon. Let's try again. Bu bi ba bu bon. Again. Bu bi ba bu bon. I hope you got it right. I hope you had fun and you really enjoyed it. This format will repeat itself in all future lessons, so it should be less overwhelming and it should get easier with regular practice and repetition. See you in the next lesson. Bye for now. Thank you.